Hello, hello. Okay, I'm going to give you a rundown of my live setup. Actually, as I kind of retire and tear it apart and repurpose it. Okay, first things first, signal flow. Starting with the kick drum and the clap. So they are, if I turn everything else down, kick drum and the clap are triggered, excuse me, baseline. Clap is on this channel. Got a few different patterns, no clap, offbeat, little clap build, got some reverb. Cool, no clap. Channel 1, synth 1 on the circuit is kick drum. Patterns here, tresillo, 4 on the floor, like a more broken beat one. We've also got hi-hats, open hats, lots of reverb, open hats, and then back to patterns, closed hats on this side, more closed hats here, cool, and that is going in through one of the mosaic line ends straight into the mixer. So kick, clap, hi-hats straight into the mixer. As we make our way this way, got the micro freak and the circuit, and they are following kind of parallel paths. Gonna just get the dry signal right now. Okay, so everything I explained for this is going to be mostly the same for the circuit. The micro freak goes in the line in, and then into a VCA, and then from the VCA goes into this mult. So we've got 3 copies of the micro freak signal going to the 3 levels of the 6 mix. Basically 3 mixes mixing 2 signals into 1. So channel 1 I've got dry, channel 2 I've got going into the delay, channel 3 is going into the reverb. All 3 together. Pretty cool. The rest of this, or like this section of the modular, is actually controlling the volume of the micro freak as it comes into the mixer. So this function here, or these 2 functions here, control the micro freak. These 2 for the volume for the model cycles. Let's just select the right channel. You can see this pattern. It's being played out here. And we can, this level, the level of this function here, is controlled here. So I've got a volume control down here. 0 volume. We've also got the dry signal. So this is what's coming out of the micro freak. Pretty plain, but if we syncopate it, it's a lot more interesting. What I've also got is this mixer. Basically, as to the right, mix in more of this cycling function. If we just turn off all the steps. So you get some crazy like amplitude modulation effects. And then mix it with the triggered function. So that's mostly the same with the model cycle. I'll bring the volume up on that one. Okay, so we have that one. Just bring up the dry. Pretty hot, honestly. Turn it down a little bit. That one actually goes through the filter here, and that filter's cutoff is on this function. But the model cycles has the same modulation configuration. These two functions, one in kind of one-shot mode. Let's go to that function to see the pattern. So when these patterns hit, you're going to get a little envelope opening the VCA. And that's got the same effects routing. Cool. Let's mute that. I've also got baseline. I'm currently muted. So that is channel B of Steppy. There is also a pitch function that is triggered by C. Get some pretty interesting bass lines that way without having to think about whether it's in key. Well, you gotta listen. Alright, there is one more function of this mixer that's kind of ham-fisted. Let's turn the bassline off. So the side chain is actually this little floating module here, and this 2HB tweakers by Clavis have gates from A, channel A. This is the side chain. It's sending a gate to this little 0HB envelope, and that envelope is being inverted and then offset, and then it all goes into the these two machines, and the bassline goes into VCA in like a stereo configuration, because there's a little bit of stereo coming from here, and that goes into the main mixer. I had a question about how I get started with tracks. In this case, I have a chord pattern playing currently on the model cycles. And I also have an arpeggio going on the Micro Freak. From there, it's really about just add a bass line. In this situation, I've got a 3-step pattern. Just gonna put a step on the first two. And then add some effects. Bring it out, filter it down a little bit, maybe bring in some hi-hats. And just bring the kit. And that's kind of how she goes with starting a track. I tend to start with the kick in. Just find it a little bit easier to get context of like where the rhythm should fall. Another question about what are the must-haves for a live setup. I mean, it could be as much as a single groove box and just having multiple voices that you can bring in and take out. What I like about this setup is that it's quite easy to explain what's going on. I say that having built the system. In terms of like where the voices are coming from, or the arpeggiator is coming from this thing. Here is how bright it is. Use this knob. If you want to emphasize that, turn the resonance next to it. Aside from the groovebox aspects of the cycles and the circuit, where knobs do different things depending on which button you press, it's more or less one knob per function. If I want to make the bass line longer, it's like right there in front of me. Make it a little bit more squelchy. Yeah, hope that was helpful. This kind of video was really useful when I was acquiring gear and looking to perform live. So hope it helped. If you've got any more questions, let me know. Drop a comment. Thanks a lot.